Abolished that September, he became General Secretary. His rise as the head of the party was seen as consolidating Deng Xiaoping's position. As the second strongman in China, Hu took on foreign state visits in which he established the image of being an open leader eager to bring about reforms. The implementation, if not the spirit of the reforms, attracted criticism from party conservatives. Recently, old guards openly lashed out at the flood of bourgeois liberalism or Western thinking coming into China. Hu's last public appearance was on December the 29th, when he met with a French Socialist Party leader. After that, he wasn't seen in public for more than 10 days. And rumors spread that he was in big trouble. Hu Yaobang was reported to have been criticized 3 times by Deng Xiaoping himself and was once told to quit his post. Hu is a controversial figure, flamboyant in style, unpopular with the old guards, and outspoken on sensitive issues. Career-wise, he has always been a Deng follower. His downfall to some observers signaled that Deng could have been in trouble himself with the more conservative elders in the party. Hu's resignation was accepted by the enlarged meeting of the party Politburo after he confessed to making mistakes on major issues of party principle. Though he was stripped of the general party post, he remains a member of the Politburo and also a member of its standing committee. His downfall was hinted after Deng Xiaoping met with a Japanese delegation last week. Deng, assuring that China will continue with its open-door policy, criticized that some Communist Party members have spread bourgeois liberalism in the country and have to be stopped. Why did Deng want Hu out?
I think Deng Xiaoping moved in because he saw the dangers, the political and ideological dangers for the Communist Party in the reform policy, and I think he knew that certain people were criticizing the way China was going, and before he could be criticized himself, Deng Xiaoping, after all, was twice set back in his career as well. Before they criticized him a third time, or could criticize him a third time, he went on the attack and found somebody, Hu Yaobang, which he could criticize and let go. So he saved with this movement his own political career, and he saved the reform policy as far as they stand.
Well, I find it very hard to believe that after 40 years, Deng has suddenly discovered that Hu has a mercurial personality, that he is a fairly individual thinker, that he disagrees with Deng's policies. I don't buy it. I think that Hu Yaobang allowed a lot of interesting opinions to be put forward, and the people he appointed were very interesting indeed. Zhu Hoci, Hu Qili, and the people that underneath them prompted a lot of cultural as well as political debate, like Wang Meng, the novelist. All of this provided a ferment, and I think the students were responding to that. But I don't think that Hu was fired or dismissed or encouraged to resign simply because he couldn't control student demonstrations. I don't see any evidence that he tried to control the student demonstrations.
Hu Yaobang was Deng Xiaoping's right-hand man. So what went wrong with him to warrant his resignation from the top party post?
He has no control of the ideological work of the party. He has no clear idea what China should be and what was the so-called Chinese-style socialism. What he did is just to let those under him to do whatever they want to do.
Hu was the obvious target, first because his protégés were so outspoken about the role of the party. They were suggesting that the party should not necessarily be the unchallenged leader, but merely a guide, something like a Church of England role. This was suggested indirectly by Guangming Daily, that good communists should provide a model, but should not expect other people to be communist. Now this directly challenges the 4 cardinal principles, one of which is that the party is the leader.
The 44 million member strong Communist Party is the mastermind of China's overall policy. How far China can go to separate the party from the state has long been under debate. One journalist compares the Soviet Union and China.
The Soviet Union trying another attempt of reforms. I give you this comparison because I think you can't compare China and the Soviet Union, but you can compare the development of the communist parties of both countries. And since the revolution in the Soviet Union was 30 years earlier, you may have reached a stage in China now which you can compare with the stage of Nikita Khrushchev in the beginning of the 60s in the Soviet Union. And I'm afraid as long as the ideological questions are not solved, that you have a communist system which wants to modernize, I'm afraid you won't make much progress. You make some progress, but not a lot.
But students want more progress now, both on the economic as well as the political front. But their objective to bring about quick changes through mass demonstrations has now apparently failed. In Part 2 of Focus, we'll see how their recent unrest will affect China's future. December 1978 marked an important time in China's modernization program for the past 7 years. At the third plenary session of the Communist Party's Central Committee meeting, Deng Xiaoping has completed his political comeback and emerged as China's #1 strongman, ready to launch changes. By early 1979, China was off to a massive economic reform. It opened up China, bringing in advanced technology as well as management skills.
At that time, 78, I think, at the end of 78, I don't think there's any clear picture of what China is going to be